I'll show you this. This is what I've actually pulled for you.
Okay. What do you? I don't see anything. I had the window up.
Okay, what did you say?
You said you. Are you sure? Oh, okay. Thank you. I had a window, so I couldn't see this screen. Okay.
Okay, I was trying to get it so I could pull it up in the reading so you can actually see the. I need light and glasses. Okay. So, in the simplest of terms, you are what's called a 6-2 profile.
6-2 profile.
Now, these first outer four are sort of your gifts, your
Mm-hmm.
shadows, and your talents.
Okay.
These first two are a 6, the second two are a 2. So, the 6 is probably one of the most interesting of profiles because the 6 is broken down into 3 different stages in life. It's called the role model or the teacher.
Okay.
But get to that point until the first, say, 28, 30 years of your life, it's considered a 3. And a 3 is sort of like trial and error, fucking up and figuring out what doesn't work.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the second stage of life from 30 to about 50 is where you start to figure out, okay, I did this, this, and this. It never went the way I wanted it to, so I'm going to stop doing that. It's sort of learning from your past mistakes.
Okay.
And then the third phase, which you get, they call on the roof, is from about 50 on. You're right about my age, aren't you? How old are you?
Um, 52. It's 52 or 53, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you're in the beginning stages of what they call mastery.
Mm-hmm.
You fucked up enough in life in your early part where you figured out, okay, that, and that doesn't work.
Right.
I'm going to quit doing that shit.
Right.
Well, hopefully you have.
Right.
um, and now you're more at a place of being settled and being a role model and a teacher.
Hmm.
So some of the or some of the there's positive and negative sides to everything. So
Right.
I'm going to share the shadow side as well as the good part of it.
Okay.
Some of the negative aspects can be arrogance and aloofness,
Okay.
where it's very hard for people to really connect to you. On the positive side, the wounding of that is isolation. And the way you heal from that is through care, being cared for by others, but most importantly, self care.
Okay.
And it's really key for you to embrace patience.
Patience. Okay.
Patience. The gift within the evolution, the way it works is life work, evolution, are both line sixes, is through education and surrendering,
Okay.
allowing stuff to happen without trying to change it or manipulate it.
Okay.
And your gift of your evolution is innovation,
Okay.
coming, knowing what hasn't worked. You figured out what does work, and you're figuring out innovative ways of whatever it is you're working on.
Okay.
The
Okay.
breakthrough comes to you, and these are the conscious sides of your makeup. The unconscious side is the hermit, or in Gene Keys, as they call it, the dancer. And here you have a second line. The second line, in a lot of instances, is about mirroring. People will see within you that which is mirrored back to them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And the second line in your radiance is about marriage. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
The gift is about leadership. The one thing about the second line, hermits, they
Did you
do
say
need,
hermits? Like people who like to be alone, hermits?
yes,
Okay.
that is a key to your self-care, is having time alone.
Okay.
And some of the best things for you are surrounding yourself with people who are sort of higher frequency,
Right.
or self-aware people, and definitely people that have no agenda, that are honest.
Right.
And when you're finding people that aren't honest or have hidden agendas, you need to kind of just distance from them. The shadow here for the second line is blame. It's like, you made me feel this way, or because of you, this happened. It's putting responsibility for things outside of yourself. And what is healing there is self-responsibility, knowing that you may have said this, but my choice to feel this way or react this way is my choice. Do you get what I'm saying there?
Yes.
Does that have some resonance for you?
Actually, very much so.
This is surprisingly on point. Now the purpose key at the bottom has two functions. And by purpose, it doesn't mean what you do in life. It's about what you are and how you are. And the second aspect of it is, what is your purpose in relationships? And again, that's the second line. It's the mirroring. And the second line in purpose is about posture, or the fluids, like within you. And in the relationship, the second line is about naturalness, just naturally being what you are. And the shadow side of that is the accuser.
Okay.
So
What do you mean so
go ahead.
what do you mean by the shadow side? So the dark side of that is the accuser?
Yeah. That goes hand in hand with blaming.
Lowering off.
You know, oh, it's your fault I'm feeling this way, or it's your fault it's happened in life, and putting the responsibility outside of yourself.
Okay.
That would be accusing. Or just naturally being who and what you are, and being okay with that. The next sphere is called the attraction sphere. It's sort of what people around you or outside of you are drawn to about you. And here you have a fifth line. And just so I can break this down, it's pretty balanced for you. You have two sixth lines, you have two fifth lines, you have two fourth lines, you have one third line, three second lines, and one first line.
Okay.
So as far as the fifth line in the attractor field, it's the same that I have personally.
Okay.
And it's a very sensual, or a lot of sexual energy to it. You're very attractive in a sensual sort of way to other people.
Hmm.
And the fifth line is about leadership and practical solutions. The gift that you have in your fifth line is about guidance,
Hmm.
being able to guide others. And the drawback there is the ability to entrap with your.
My wiles.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, this is public, so I'm trying to think of nice ways to say this.
Okay.
And it's the same that I have, is
Okay.
what people find attractive about me. Um, now we start to go into the developmentally. The whole centerpiece is called the Venus sequence, and it's all about relationships. It's about how you love. It's about how you became what you are now. So and it goes from the developmental of the teenage years from 21 to I think it's 14. The emotional side develops from 7 to 13, and then there's from birth to age 7 is your soul development. So in your IQ, most people are familiar with IQ. You have what is called a practical mind.
Hmm.
Um, it's the fifth line, and it can also be very defensive. You can see solutions, but it's also protective in your intellect, the way you think. The gift there of your I Ching is strength. I purposefully did not put all of the I Ching in here. So I'm just going by just the lines because the line affects the actual I Ching.
Okay.
And each I Ching has its own shadow gift and Siddhic level, which is the highest vibration. But it's a lot. So, I'm trying to just break it down into digestible bite-sizedness for people in the beginning. Now, emotionally, as you developed, here you have a fourth line. And the fourth line is it's the dichotomy between being kind and being mean. And emotionally, the healing comes from gentleness. The gift that you have there is transmutation.
The ability to change.
Yeah, to make one thing something different.
Hmm.
And this is all in your emotional intelligence. Your emotions affect your intellect or mind. I think I responded to something in a post that someone had, and which was about mental decisions or something recently.
Okay.
And you answered right after that. And it was funny because you came to mind to
Hmm.
ask you if you wanted that reading, and you DM'd me just after I had that thought.
Yeah.
So the SQ is sort of like you have emotional intelligence, you have an intellectual intelligence, and you have a soul intelligence. And this is the only place in your chart where you have a first line.
Hmm.
First line is always sort of like about the foundation of things. It's the beginning of things. And it talks about certainty and having rhythm and routine. And again, the gift here is guidance.
Okay.
That's the second place you have that same I Ching. So you guiding others is going to be an integral part of your life.
Really?
And the vocation is the last sphere of the Venus sequence, but it also begins the Pearl sequence. I've spent about the last 4 or so years personally studying the first path and this Venus path. I've yet to go into studying for myself the Pearl. So my knowledge is not quite as advanced there. But the core wound that you bring in from your ancestry and your DNA is about shame. And the third line is about strategy and implementation. As I explained to you in the sixth, the third line is about trial and error. So as you're bringing into this lifetime shame from your ancestry, the key in healing that is humor. To the point of like, okay, yeah, that is what it is. And looking at it from and allowing humor rather than seriousness or other aspects. The vocation, as you go into this top piece of it, this top triangle, they're all connected: life's work, the pearl, your core wound, and vocation. And that is about prosperity in life. I don't want to say money, but it does deal with abundance and money and prosperity.
Hmm.
So you begin with the third line there, which is about strategy. The culture, you have a second line, which is about partnership. And the gift there is resolve. And the pearl, you have a fourth line, which is about charity. And the gift you have in your I Ching is diplomacy. I can't speak a whole bunch more about that because it's not something I personally have a huge understanding of.
Okay.
But those are the pieces for you. And I want to make sure that I have this correct. The 24th of October, 68
Mm-hmm.
at 21:38 military time
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
was Lincoln Park, Michigan, correct?
So I was born in Outer Drive Hospital, so that was in Lincoln Park. So
Okay. Because there's a few Lincoln Parks. There's one in Illinois, there's one in Nebraska.
yeah, Lincoln Park, Michigan.
I figured that.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does any of this land for you?
So far, I'm liking it. I'm just like, I guess the one thing is okay. So I kind of got an idea. This is my mastery age or the beginning of the mastery age, but I don't know. I'm still kind of stuck on what what my next step is going to be. But maybe that will come to me in time.
What do you mean by next step?
Oh, I'm just, I seem to be going through a transition yet again. And so I'm just like, okay, well, that was not how I expected this to turn out. So, I mean, that's not quite true. I kind of expected it, but I was like, I was hoping I was wrong. But let's put it like that.
I mean, hoping you were wrong with the different stages of life.
Wait, say that again.
What did you mean? You hope you were wrong about the
Oh no,
different.
just the employment situation, money situation, and just kind of getting myself back on my focus. But no, a lot of this resonated a lot. It's just like I heard some real truths in this. So when do I get a copy of my chart? When are you gonna email me a GIF or a PDF or something?
I can try to mail it to you. It's probably easier if you go
Oh, you don't
right
know
to
how to
the.
scan it? You don't know how to scan? Come on, Tom, get in the 21st century.
I couldn't figure out how to pull the damn thing up as a shared
Mm,
file.
oh, okay, fair enough.
I had to go reset passwords, and I'm trying to do it within the program, and it's like it was not functioning the way I wanted it to. Well, then let me end the broadcast piece of this
All right.
here.
And if I want to review this again later and rethink about this, how do I do that?
I will send you the link to that.
Okay. It's on YouTube, so I can find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, this is just me practicing as part of my educational process.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a lot more to it, and there's more to the human design side.
Right.
Human design is more of the mechanics of this vehicle, this body that you're um, in this lifetime. You're a generator,
Right.
which 80% of the population are generators. They're the builders, the workers, the doers of things, and you have a sacral energy.
Hmm.
One of the biggest things to understand in the human design side is your type and what your inner authority is. Your inner authority is sacral. It means when
Did you say sacral as in sacred or sacral as in it's located in my sacrum?
the gut,
Okay.
you're going to get when you have a yes answer for something, you're going to have a rise in energy, and you'll almost hear yourself say uh-huh. And when it's a no, you'll get a feeling like a sinking feeling in your gut. You'll almost hear yourself say uh-uh.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother piece of this discussion. But like for me, I always thought my brain and thinking was how I was supposed to make choices and decisions. I'm not built that way. I have a solar plexus or emotional. I have to go by how things feel. And it
Okay.
takes time for me to understand that because emotions go up and down all the time. So, did I stop this? Hold on.
I don't know.